Don't really got it in me to write a long intro this week, so we got Bob Marley, One Love, and Madam Web. Let's discuss. So what can I really say about Madam Web? Honestly, I made this a double review mostly because I really didn't have a lot to say on either of these films. Madam Web is really bad. The CGI is of course horrible as per usual with these films. This might be the last time I say this because this feels so over repetitive. I'm so sick of ugly looking films. I just want something visually pleasing. I guess Dune 2 is coming out, so that'll probably look good. Whatever, anyways, yes, ugly. It's a very ugly film. One of the worst things about this movie is the fact that there's almost no reason for it to even exist. Like, the entire film, first of all, mild spoilers if you care, but throughout the entire film, the three teenagers in this movie are supposed to eventually become superheroes after the movie ends. So we literally never see any superhero action during the film, so it's just four regular people and a psychic who can kind of see the future sometimes. So the ending is just saying that eventually they'll become superheroes, so like, what's even the point of watching the movie? This movie also has some bizarre choices with cinematography. Like, in the opening there's a big moment where people are getting shot, but they choose to for some reason use shots that are in the office, and honestly it's hilarious. How did they get away with this stuff? It's actually crazy. Regardless, people always talk about how funny this movie is, and yeah, it's a pretty fun time. I wasn't really bored to the final action scene, honestly, but it isn't as funny as I expected it to be. Like, it's still a super fun bad time. It's a pretty good, so bad it's good movie, just nowhere near as goofy or chaotic as I expect it to be. I got a good laugh in like every 5 minutes maybe, and that's a pretty good rate, so it did a decent job of being a so bad it's good movie. I don't know, I've seen better. Watch Willy's Wonderland or Five Nights at Freddy's movie. They're way more fun bad than anything, and they have actual cool moments sprinkled throughout the bad stuff. This movie has absolutely nothing going for it besides the ironic enjoyment, so yeah, the ironic value of this carries this a bit, but it's still like a low 3 out of 10. Moving on. Alright, I actually have more to say on the Bob Marley movie than I do for Madam Web, but still not really enough for a full review, so let's just talk about it. So I'm just gonna start by talking about the trailers and what it was building up to, because honestly I thought this movie looked pretty good in the trailers. It wasn't really that special, but it was especially interesting compared to all the other trailers out right now, since a lot of trailers are not very good right now. I really enjoyed the idea of the conflict that Bob has deciding to host the concert despite all the bad things that have happened to him because of the area he lives in and the semi-political war going on. That's a pretty powerful message and a pretty cool idea to center the movie around. But the movie literally starts with this. There's no build-up to set up Bob as a character or anything. They just cut to the bad things happening, and then he almost immediately makes the decision to perform at the concert. Like, that's not inspiring at all. It doesn't feel realistic and definitely doesn't fit what the trailer was setting up for the movie. A lot of the movie kind of focuses on him selling and creating his new album, which is pretty generic and way more boring in my opinion. Plus, there isn't like a standard rising of a musician kind of movie. He was already a big deal at the start of the movie. There's no point in showing how he became an even bigger musician. Just such a bad move. They really should have built up other things, like his past, which was sprinkled throughout the film in like slight moments. If I could change this movie, I would probably make it focus more on his childhood and his upbringing as an artist, and towards the end of the movie he would end up how he is at the start of the film, and then have the bad things happen to him. Then he has some time to reflect on his life and end the movie with him deciding to perform. That'd be much more consistent and probably creative and interesting than what the movie gave us. I don't know, the movie really fumbled the bag with the trailers, and they're extremely misleading for what the film was actually about. One other thing I wanted to talk about was the dialogue. This is absolutely my problem and not the film's problem, but I could barely make out what anyone was saying, which is fine. It makes the movie fit more how Bob Marley actually talked in real life. But I really got lost several times throughout the film because I honestly have no idea what the characters were saying like 50% of the time. I could mostly get it, but I did miss some stuff that I kind of wish I could go back and rewatch, since I didn't really get the full experience from the movie. And I wish I could have gotten more, because there's definitely some highlights here, like Bob's fight with his wife that has some great acting and some great writing, but I literally don't know half of what they're saying, so it doesn't really impact me at all. I don't know if this is a problem with other people's viewing experiences, but that's just me. That's kind of a personal issue. Anyways, the movie was pretty okay, and I'm gonna give this a solid 5 out of 10. Thanks. So yeah, this was a real short video because I don't have much to say about either of these films. Thanks for watching. The Oscar video is canceled now because I realized I already talked about the best films on 2023, so an Oscar video would be kind of pointless. So yeah, I'm gonna be trying to make a couple new series soon, so keep your eyes out for that, and yeah, this is an epic outro.